Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. In this video, I'm looking at the third product that I also needed while I was learning from the Quran. And I was aiming at reciting the Quran exactly how Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, our Prophet, had recited it. We know that Quran has specific way of reading, and that's called Tajweed. Tajweed meanings are many, but mostly it's looking at how the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ had read the Quran in it, the very, very fine details of each letter and how it is read correctly. So the Tajweed is a science, and that science, as every science, needs a glossary. So this is my university teaching experience coming in and kicking in. I could not find a glossary where all of the terms of the Tajweed science is gathered in one place. I found them sporadic in many books and previous work, but nobody had put them in one place. And my idea was that I wanted something to help me memorize all of these terms as a glossary or a dictionary. So the idea that I would gather them handwriting and put them in front of myself and put them in one table alone and simply memorize them out of there. It was more useful for me and more scientific for me to look at one reference for the glossary alone, especially that many of the terms were defined but in different ways, and sometimes they are in the appendix, or they are written, their explanation is written as a paragraph or whatever. So all of these terms were gathered, and I've handwritten them for myself to memorize them. Then the idea came up to me, why not to print it and make it useful for other students in my class as well to benefit from them, because I'm still a student learning as well. The third step was, am I putting the term correctly? Is it correct in its term? So I began looking for scholars to revise the terminology, and many had helped me with that, thankfully. Finally, I was blessed to have Dr. Ma'moon al-Shamali, who is one of the highest scholars of Qira'at al-Quran in Irbid, the city where I'm living in. And he had kindly accepted to revise the glossary or the dictionary of these terms. And he went through them with me, and alhamdulillah, we got to our third edition of the glossary. It's called Mustalahat al-Tajweed, meaning the glossary of Tajweed terms. So as you can see that it's dentistry is kicking in, and because in dentistry we have a lot of glossaries related to our specialties. So these are the glossary. This is how the glossary looks like. It's in its third edition at the moment, where it has been revised many times and even refined. This is the page where you give your gifting, and these are the other products that I have produced, just listing them. This is the introduction, and then the methodology that I used when writing these, and how I went back, and who had helped me in it. And then I divide this glossary by the name of the chapter of the science, because we know in every science there are like chapters gradually leading to the science itself. So by the name of the chapter, you will find that I have written the definitions. I made them in a table format for them to be visually attractive, and in the same way be organized, so the mind will not confuse a term with another. I also put similar terms together so you could differentiate, especially when they are very close together, for you to compare. So for example, al-lahn al-jali wal-lahn al-khafi wal-lahn al-akhfa, these are types of mistakes in reading Quran. So I put them together, I grouped them together so you could define each one different from the other and try to differentiate and compare between them to memorize how they are developed. So there was some grouping done, division by chapters, as I said. These are the chapters divided. But then in any glossary, we know that sometimes you need something quickly and you don't know in which chapter it is. So what I've done is, after finishing the last chapter, which is I regrouped the terms alphabetically. So the same terms here, divided by subject, are rewritten in the second section with alphabetical order. So alphabetically, I just gathered them all together, mixed them up, and just sorted them alphabetically. So if someone has a quick word he wants to pick up, he could just put the name of it and go alphabetically. In these, we have some examples from the Quran. The examples from the Quran were photocopied from the Quran itself. I first typed them, but then found that writing it as in Quran, photocopying it from the Quran is better. So in the revised versions of this glossary, we have them exactly written as in the Quran itself. The third edition, we had a good edition, that these are the terminology used for correct Quran reading. So are there terminologies for incorrect Quran reading? Yes, there are. So we added a section alone at the end, putting in them or stating in them the types of mistakes in reading Quran. So this is the third section added in the third edition, just concentrating on the types of mistakes. What are the types of mistakes that people do while reading Quran? These are common mistakes, and once you use the terminology correctly, you could tell the student that you have this mistake and you can solve it by so and so. And in the end, this is the table of contents here, and that's finished. So this is our third project, which is the glossary of Ilm al-Tajweed. What my next step in it, where I'm asking for anybody who likes to participate, and once more, these are open copies, open rights for anybody to use. I wish I could make this as an application, so if anybody is interested, I could provide them with the material and develop an application. I need further, where I really am looking forward at is trying to translate this to English and to any language. So anybody who wants to participate in the translations. Also, I want to make it an interactive glossary. So an interactive meaning having an icon on YouTube, for example, a short video of 1 minute only explaining the term, another interactive icon where I could click and you could hear the terminology in Arabic and English, another icon with an image. If there is something explanatory images I could add to it to make it more interactive. So if anybody would like to take the material, they are already present in the PDF descriptions in the first video where I'm explaining about my books. There is the link, the Google link for all of my books in PDF format. Anybody is welcome to take the material, develop it in whatever way they find useful. So this is my third group of products that I've developed and hope to develop as well. And see you in the next video.